In the last 3 years, we have seen unprecedented changes in society. These changes challenge every major paradigm that has shaped our lives, nations, cultures, and communities. It is during times like these that we turn inward for truth. I too began to question the meaning of my existence and the meaning of success. Often, through these quiet, contemplative reflections, we come to find our purpose, our giftings, and even, as some would say, our calling in life. I choose to use my gifts in the service of goodness for the collective. After spending nearly 3 decades in the world of direct marketing, I have witnessed a broad spectrum of changes in our industry. Having built a global organization that generated billions of dollars in sales, I have learned invaluable lessons in business and in life. I have been called to start a project that honors 2 words: love and contribution. I am building a global community that is focused on the well-being of everyone around us, physically, financially, and spiritually. With that said, get ready, for you're about to be a part of something meaningful, fun, and genuinely profound. It is time to get excited and rise to the calling of something far greater than what has been. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are tuning in. And so welcome to this special call here today, this afternoon. I'm coming to you from Los Angeles in my home. And so today's topic is up close and personal with me. And so initially, actually, we had wanted to do the call with the specific teams. But since I feel like, since I'm doing it, might as well open it to all the people that are wanting to build this business called Three. And I want to share this is that I'm holding space for all of us at Three, all of the people that want to build Three. But more importantly than that, it's holding space for all of us as human beings on this planet right now. And so wherever you are, I want you to know we're in this together. So sending out great vibes to all of you. And I know that for today's call, people are tuning in because they want to level up. They want to build a business. And so what I like to do is I'm going to do something I've never done before in my entire career of 31 years is, a lot of people talk about up close and personal, like, what is a life of a networker like in this cross-border e-commerce? What's my life like? And I've never really have done this. I actually do very public work, but I live a very private life. But today I decided to do a little bit different because we're all on this journey together. This journey called life. So I'm gonna show you what my life is like. That way we can put into context of what I'm about to share with you all. I spent 31 years in this space, and it's easy to share about the glory, the success, and the glamorous things, right? It's a whole different thing when we talk about what it takes to get to where I am in life. And so I get to live in this beautiful home here in LA when I'm in Los Angeles. And when I'm not here, I live in Sedona. So, allow me to do this. At least we put things into context. Now, today's a training call. We're all, brand ambassadors. I want to share with you what is possible. What is life like when you're willing to embark on a journey that could possibly change your life, but more importantly, making positive impact to people around you. Especially, those of you that were on the last night's call, on the Wellness Wednesday call, the testimonials that we heard is, to me, it was like, my gosh, it's different of, it's about making a difference in people's life. It's about making the impact. So with that, today is up close and personal. I'm going to show you my life, what my life is like. So I'm in LA. This is my home, and this is my workspace. This is my workspace where I work. And I'm going to take you around to see what my life is like so that we put things in perspective. I've never done this in my entire career. So here I am in LA. Look at beautiful. Isn't it beautifully green? Now it's easy to talk about success. It's easy to talk about what you can get out of it, but I'm going to go over some of the stuff that what it takes to get there. And, and this indeed is a very different platform than anything perhaps most people have embark on. So I'm going to do this feel of what life is, for me at least, right? Now, obviously, I could choose to live in a beautiful space and not having to work, but I choose to do a little something a little different with my life to make impact. So this is my life. Well, that's the car you saw in the video just now from Sedona. So I got to get this car back in Sedona. So anyway, so now coming back, I'm going to go back to my workspace so we can have a talk, kind of put things into context, what it takes to build a business. So now I do not want people to take this out of context. Sometimes when you do content, the content's going to put in the right context of things. So the reason why I want to do this so that you know what's real. There's a lot of things happening in this world, and so we always say this, that in this business, when it's done right, it could be a beautiful thing. I'm no different than anybody here, but what I'm going to share with you is what it takes to really manifest your dream and to make it a reality. So let me kind of move to somewhere else in my house. All right, there we go. Okay, so, okay, all right, there we go. Okay, so still beautiful view. Okay, all right, now, so let's talk about how to work this business and what it is. I think it's so important that we have have the right context of what this business is. And so, a lot of times when people come into a space like this, they get so excited that they started to, share the product, the technology and all that. But let's examine where the revenue comes from in your business. The revenue comes from customers, right? In any business, any company, customers are core foundation of your business. But what is the fastest way for us to build a business? Like anything else, this is a business, but it's very misunderstood what this business is. And what I mean by that is this business, to live a dream, we need to put in our elbow grease. We need to put in our elbow grease, and it's like working out. Some people wanted to have like muscle, want to be buff. Well, for us to build that muscle, it's going to take a lot of workout before you see that muscle coming up, right? So oftentimes when it's a business platform, particularly this one, I don't know why. Okay, and that's why I want to take time to talk about the right expectations and what it takes to get there. Okay, so now and today's a training call for business builders. So I want to do this, and is that having the right expectation of what it is, because oftentimes you'll hear people when you go out there and you share the opportunity with people, they will say, well, yeah, this is my retirement, or this is my I see this, and sometimes I ask people, well, what would you like to achieve in this platform? Well, I want to make, I don't know, I want to make, $100,000 a month. I want to be a millionaire. And I said, okay, what are you willing to do? And sometimes people will say, well, you know what? I got my job, I got this and that. Nothing wrong with any of that stuff. But it's interesting when you ask people what you want. I love the fact that this platform gives people the opportunity to dream big, of having a dream or a seeing it, because it's like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, okay, you know what? I see an opportunity. And then they give you big numbers. But when the rubber meets the road, when we're actually getting into work, oftentimes people don't understand it does take elbow grease. It does take work to make this happen. And so that expectations, because I've hear time after 31 years, I hear over and over when people got started, they get so excited. But when you ask them what are they willing to do, or when they get started, they encounter objections, rejections, then they retract from what that dream was when they first heard about this or when they first got involved. So I'm going to walk you through a process so that you will have better understanding of this. And what I mean by that is this, like, okay, let's just say that, a lot of times people are looking at this platform and they will say, okay, maybe there's a workshop, maybe there's a training I can do. I can learn on how to do this business. Workshop is helpful. These are like signposts that will guide us. But ultimately, how you're going to get the knack of this business is actually working it, right? Putting in the elbow grease, working it. It's like going to the gym, working on that muscle, right? So perfect example. Let me give you a perfect example. Like if I were to ask you to jump into my pool, if people wanted to learn how to swim, certainly I can talk about learning how to swim, how to float and all that stuff, but it's a whole different ball game when you're actually in the pool trying to stay afloat. If you don't know how to swim, trying to stay afloat or trying to, so I want to make sure that you understand that process. People engaging in this platform, a lot of times they're like, okay, I need to know exactly what I need to do. That exactly what you need to do first is your why. Why are you doing this? And then the next thing is get into a practice. This business is a practice. It's like doing meditation. It's like yoga. It takes practice, us getting in the trenches, us sharing this with other people. And so this is and so that's that part, right? I want to talk about the part about leveling up. And what does that mean? If you truly wanted to achieve something in this platform, you got to be willing to level up. When things, it's easy to get excited, to be motivated, get pumped when things are going your way, when you're getting all the yeses, when people are moving forward. But it's another when you are not where you want to be, when the results of your doing, or perhaps the response from the people that you talk to are not as how you would expect they respond. It is that time that we internally, we got to level up. If you want to really create a fortune here in this industry or in this business, you got to be willing to put forth the work. And so let me kind of share this. So for, one time I did a training, I did a meeting, and then, I was asking people, how much money do you want to make? And, guy goes, you know what, Kim, I want to make what you're making. And at that time, long time ago, I was like 38,000 a month. And he goes, well, Kim, I want to make at 38,000 a month. And by the way, there's no income claim in any form, shape, or way. Okay. So this is a training. I want to make sure I make it very clear and nothing get taken out of context. Okay. So I want to talk about my journey, how I become where I am, the journey that took me to where I am here today. Okay. So, and the guy was saying, hey, I want to make the kind of money you make. I said, listen, why don't you meet me at this place? Okay. I'm going to do a talk. I'm going to do a showcase. Why don't you meet me there? And the guy goes, well, I can't. It's like, hour and a half drive. And I said, well, I thought you want to make the kind of money I do. And he goes, yeah, but it's an hour and a half drive. I said, wait, let me get this straight. If you want to make 38,000, and I want to do this because it's going to be a self-inflection, okay? I said, you want to make 38,000 a month, and yet you won't even put forth the effort driving an hour and a half. And the reason I said, well, listen, how much money are you making at your job right now? This is many, many years ago. And he was making like 5,000, 6,000 a month. I said, let me get this straight. You put forth 40 hours a week to make 5,000, 6,000 a month. And you have the aspirations of making 30,000, 38,000 a month, and you're not willing to put in the hour. How much? I said, by the way, how many hours you think you want to put in to make the kind of money that you aspire to make? He goes, maybe 10 hours a week. And so I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. You are putting forth 40 plus hours a week, making 5,000 to 6,000 a month. And here you want to put in 10 hours a week to make 38,000 $38,000 a month. I said something has got to give. 40 hours a week, make 5,000-6,000 a month. 10 hours a week and want to make 38,000 a month. Something's got to give. Either we gave up the number of 38,000, or we give in the hours, to add in more hours, adding more efforts in the business. So I hope this point is getting through, because oftentimes we say that ourselves. We say that unconsciously, say, oh, I see this. I want to be a billionaire, whatever. I can't show you how to make a billion. I haven't done that yet, okay? Not that is my goal right now. Billion is not my goal. Making a positive impact around the world, it is what I love to do. And that's why, look, in the midst of all this, I could stay home all day long and do nothing and be nothing. But you know what? I want to do something that's impactful, meaningful with my life. So, okay, now coming back to this. So, oftentimes we fall into that trap of, I think the best way I can articulate is this platform somehow spark people's dream again. Like, oh, I have a space I can dream again. So that's the spark. That's a good thing, right? And where the rubber meets the road, what does it take to do it? It's a whole different thing. Oh, I can dream again. I want to make X dollar amount. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be whatever. And then doing the work. It is doing the work, that journey, that investment in your own business. Most people will falter because maybe their why is not strong enough. Maybe they don't understand the expectation of this journey. And so now with that, let's talk about the expectation. Having the blessing to be where I am here today. And by the way, I have he's looking at me. There's a little Tofu. Hi, Tofu, say hi. He's looking at me. All right. So now coming back to this. So when you are out there building your dream, understanding something, not everyone will see what you saw. Not everyone will agree with you on what you're doing. It's just nature of the beast. It's just nature of the game. Okay. So when you understand that, then I'm going to show you a couple of graphs here today that I drew myself. So hopefully that will get you some understanding. And then we're going to talk about the how to. Okay. So one of the graphs I drew was this. Okay. Understand this. This is something called, we all have this. It's called our comfort zone. Okay. Look at this. The comfort zone, right? Guess where growth happens? Growth happens when it's outside of our comfort zone. Guess what do you think the wealth is? What do you think money is? Money and wealth. Outside of where you are now, outside of wherever your money blueprint, if you would, whatever money blueprint you have right now, if you wanted to surpass that, or you want to transform that money is outside of your comfort zone. So anytime when you're talking to people, when you're building this business, when you feel like not comfortable, well, first of all, you got to believe in what you're doing. If you believe in what you're doing, you went out there and share with other people. When you're at that uneasiness, that uncomfortness, that's when you're growing. There are many times I feel like I don't feel like going to a meeting. I don't feel like talking to another person. But it's at that time I remember, you know what? It's time for me to grow. It's time for me to get out of my comfort zone. Anytime when I don't feel like doing, obviously there's something that you're going to be aligned with your value, right? So if it's in alignment with your value, but just because of fear, because of this thing called fear, because of whatever that is, when you say, you know what, I'm going to break it. I am not going to succumb to that fear. Okay. Whatever there's in life, don't succumb to it. Okay. So know that money, wealth, is outside of your comfort zone. So I'm going to put in today's talk is to get several concepts. It's conceptual. I want to get several concepts to you so you understand what it takes. To be people to, a legend in this space. I don't look at myself as a legend. I don't look at myself I look at myself as an ordinary individual, but I have an extraordinary dream, extraordinary wanting to do something with my life. So comfort zone, okay? Money, wealth, growth is outside of your comfort zone, okay? The next thing I'm going to talk about, this next chart is something called linear, that most people perhaps some of you on this phone call are in this paradigm, what we call linear income. Okay, linear income is trading time for money. Okay, it's linear. Okay, whatever time you put in, you get the money, you get whatever you're supposed to get paid, whatever someone else tells you what you're worth, right? So linear, you put in time, you get paid. You go to work, you get paid. If you don't go to work, no pay. You stop working, no moolah, no money. So that's linear, okay? Now, a lot of us have been, over the years in society, have been conditioned in this model. You know, we go to work, we get paid. There is quote unquote security, okay, in that model. But what's happening in society right now? Is there such thing as security? I heard that there's a huge department got huge layoff. A whole department got laid off at different banks. But that's what we've been conditioned all these years. Get a good education, work a good job, or even your business. Some of you on this phone call here today are traditional business owners. And if you close your store, guess what happened? No money coming in because it's linear. Linear means trading time for money, okay? Or you might be geographically bound in your business in a geographic area, okay? So I want to throw this out there, this concept out there, because as you go out and build the business, these are the marbles in your toolbox. And I think more important than the message articulating out to others, it's for us to internalize what you have. Because when you truly understand that, we won't falter to be quitting in this business when times get a little quote unquote challenging, okay? So the model I want to talk to you about is a leverage model, the model that we're in. Leverage. What does that mean by leverage? Okay. Leverage. This is a 2 to 3 year plan. It could be, to some people, it could be a 1 year plan. To other people, it could be a 5 year plan. There's no fixated limited stuff. A lot of people go, well, can you tell me definitively how much money I can make? No, I cannot tell you because it's subject to many variables. It's subject to what you will do, subject to what the people that you brought in will do. There's so many variables in life. It's like if you go to university, can you go to the university principal and say, listen, or at the admission office and say, excuse me, yo, can you tell me when I graduate from college, am I going to get a job at X dollar amount? How much money can I make? No, you can't. It's life. The thing about this thing called life is for all of us to go live and to experience this thing. Okay. All right. So linear income. What do I mean by that? So look at this. So linear, this is a 2 to 3 year plan on an average. It could be 2 to 5 years. Okay, whatever. So let's just say this is a 2 to 3 year plan. Okay. So in the beginning, now on the bottom, it's like this. Up top is time meaning effort, the time that you put in your job, right? And down there is your reward, your money, all right, your paycheck, right? So coming back here, the leverage is this. On top is the time you put in. Okay, but the model is very different than linear. It's slanted, and allow me to explain to you what I mean by slanted. Okay, all right. So on top is time and effort that you work the business, and down below is where the money is. Okay, so let me kind of, on this chart, it's a 2 to 3 year plan, or to some people it could be 1 year, to some people it could be 5 years, to some people it could be 6 years, whatever. Okay, so on an average, that's dependent upon your target, your goal, right? Okay, so now I want you to look at the very beginning of your work. This is right here, it's your beginning. In the very beginning, you might put in a lot of efforts. You see right here, this is the effort you put in. And your reward, your pay might be very little. And it is at that time that when you share with people, and then maybe your friends, your colleagues will say, excuse me, how many meetings you gone to? You're going to a convention? Say what? And how much money have you made? You spending money, da, 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 da. And so when the result is different than what traditional paradigm is, that is when we get challenged the most, because the result is so disruptive than whatever we've been taught, right? So in the beginning, you put a lot of effort, your return is a little bit. If I were to tell you how much money I made in the very beginning, preparing for this and then working it, the first 2 months, I would make less than 1 penny, not even 1 penny an hour, okay? But that's the beginning, because what are we doing? We are building a business. This is not a job. You are not working a job. You put in 8 hours. You get, let's say you get paid, I don't know, $50 an hour. You get 8 hours, you get $400 a day. It's not like that. Okay. So here, you put a lot of effort. You're learning, you're growing. Your pay might be very little bit in the beginning. Okay. But as you put on the elbow grease, as you're investing time in learning, in working it, you will get to an equilibrium right here. The equilibrium will be like, okay, whatever time I put in, I'm kind of getting paid the kind of effort I'm normally getting at my job or at my traditional business. That equilibrium will take some time because we're building it up. But the beauty of this lantern model is this. Once you build up your organization, you will get to a point where your pay and your effort is now reversed from the beginning. Once you build up your organization, your business, the effort that you put in might be very little, but the return could be quite substantial. Now, I get to live and build a company from 0 to become 10 billion. I walk through this. Time in my 31 years, I have built through this again and again. So I want to make sure that you all understand this leverage model versus the linear model and understanding the comfort zone. Okay, it's very important for us to have a grasp, understand. Anytime things get a little challenging, things are not at what you want to be, just say, listen, I am growing. I am in my comfort zone. So just hold tight on your dream. What is it you want? Your why. Get that why. And so, this is not a call to talk about the basic on how to build and how to get your why. There's many videos you can do that. A lot of people get so aspired, so inspired, say, wow, like people like, let's say people like, for example, like Amy Dunlap, people like Holly DeMond, people like Samson, people like Adrienne Ruiz. They go, oh my gosh, I cannot talk like them. They are so good at what they talk about. And people like He Ping, like Leah, all these incredible leaders. Well, listen, they didn't get to be that good at day one. They put forth the effort. They talk to people. They get rejected. But the difference is they kept at it. They kept at it. They kept going. It's like what I always talk about. You got to have this dance with life. You got to continue to dance. And so now, I hope I drive that point home, because having the right expectation and the right understanding, it is so important. All right, now let's pivot to talk about how did I build a $10 billion company? Now, and understanding that the cornerstone of any business are customers and users, loyal customers that will use a product. So what are we there to do? There's two options, right? With an amazing technology, amazing product, to me, an incredible product, incredible technology, that is just a tool to build a sustainable residual income. The product has got to be good. The technology got to be sound in order for us to have a meaningful, long-lived opportunity, which we have in the product. So if those of you that are here to build a business, you can do the slower way, or you can do it truly building a business way. And so the slower way would be you go out there and you go out and get customers. And nothing wrong with that. Okay. So as you go out and share the technology, such as amazing product, yeah, people say, okay, you know what? Yeah, let me try your product. That's wonderful. It might take, if you're super good at what you do, let's just say a year later, you might get, I don't know, 100, 200 customers if you're really good at getting customers. Now, there's another way of building a business, is that instead of just you getting customers, what is a faster way to build your business, to build your customer base, is to get customer getters. Okay. Who are customer getters? People that want to build this business, because as they're building this business, what's going to sustain the business are users, are customers. But let's just say that if you went out there and shared this business with 100 people, okay, if 100 people went out there and get 10 customers each, rather than getting 100 customers, right? You will have what? 100 times 10 is what? It's 1,000 customers. Even if you're super good at what you do, if you do it all by yourself, you are only going to get 100 customers all yourself. But if you are able to magnify, to build this as a business, go get customer getters, people that by them become a customer getter, become a business builder. They are building their business. They are building their dream. But because we have a system in place that will train, inspire, and teach the things what it takes in this business. So today's call is really about up close and personal. In me sharing with you my concept and what it took for me to build the dynasty that I have. And so now, so okay, I hope I share that concept enough. So getting customer getter, instead of you doing all the work, you look for other people who are like you, like-minded individual, who are willing to do who want to do the same thing, and yet, more importantly, who are willing to put forth the efforts in doing it. Okay, so with that, I want to talk about this thing I've taught for years, and I have seen it with my eyes over and over. I mean, people that I work with that become, millionaire, multi-millionaire. I will say this, and this is what I call the magic in 20. Okay, what do I mean by that? The magic in 20 goes like this. In this business, it's like in life. It's a sorting process. You have absolutely no idea who's going to thrive in this business. You have absolutely no idea, because there are times you talk to somebody, you thought, wow, this person, named John. John is going to do so well in this business. He needs this business. And John comes in and tells you, you know what? Man, I'm going to make you rich. Okay. And you know what? A week later, you don't even see John. Okay. So here's the thing. You have no idea what's in their heart. Sometimes you look at somebody, go, you know what? They don't have what it takes. And yet they will surprise you. And sometimes you look at somebody and go, you know what? They are so good. They're so articulate. They're so outgoing. And you know what? When times get tough, they disappeared. There's none of my people are working. Well, what are you doing? If your people are not working, what are you doing? I mean, see, this is the thing, right? So here, that's why, we want to make sure that today's call is really for business builders, that you are here. I really hope these words land in the right place in your mind and in your hearts of becoming a multi-millionaire, having an opportunity to change your life. It does take work. Okay. Magic in 20. What do I mean by that? Okay. So magic in 20. I have seen it over and over and over. When we build in waves. What do I mean by that? You sponsor 20 people in the business, it doesn't fail. If you've done it right, if you share right, okay, don't hype, don't go, hey, come in and get rich. No. If you share right of who you are, why you're doing this, you share right. If you sponsor 20 people, you're going to get one person, at least one. That's not working. Okay. Now, in the very beginning, if you're brand new to this, you're building this in the beginning, the way in which you share might not be perfect, because you know what, we don't know what we're doing. We're just trying out. It's like learning how to swim. Somebody throw you in a swimming pool, right? And so you're trying to balance, you do it. So as you're sharing out there, you haven't get the knack of how to do it yet, how to really get it yet with people yet, but you're able to sponsor 20 people. You will have one person that go, you know what, I think I'm going to do this. So how do you go about building a legacy, building a dynasty? Is you build in wave of 20. I remember many times, I remember this particular lady came to me years ago and said, Kim, can you teach me? Can you show me? I said, how many people have you sponsored? She says, I sponsored 6 people. I said, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you go sponsor 20 people? If I can be of help to do calls for you, I will. I said, once you sponsor 20 people, come back to me and let's talk. And you know what? This person, strike the lucky, because when she sponsored 20 people, she made her millions, and so she never came back, or she came back to thank me, but whatever. So, but the point is this, there is magic in 20. When you sponsor 20 people, let's say for whatever reason, if you sponsor 20, you haven't found one working yet, what do? Go sponsor another 20. Go talk to 20 people, because the journey of talking to that 20 people, you will get like riding a bike. You will get okay, this is how I strike a balance when I'm off lopsided a little bit. Because when you're working on the 20, that's when you're getting the knack of how to ride a bike, how this thing work. You can go to seminar after workshop after workshop. If you do not go out there and talk to people, you won't grasp the concept. It's like a bike. You can read all day long. You can go to a seminar, watch television, how to ride a bike. Unless you get into that two-wheel thing, you can't learn how to balance. Okay. So same thing in this business. Talk to people. So once you get to the first wave, 20 people, you might have, one or two working. And then what do? Go build another wave of 20. So from another 20, you got people who say another one or two working. And then what do? The people that you brought in, for as long as you have done your part as a sponsor, show them the tools, show them where they need to go to get it. We can only lead a horse to the water. We can't make them drink. So you can lead them to this platform. Whether they are going to put forth the effort is beyond you. But what's within your control is your own action. So the 20 people I brought in the beginning, one working. Then I went to build a second wave of 20. From the second 20, this time I got a little better. 2 people were working. Then I built the third wave. Okay. Now these people, when I say they're working, once they get enrolled, what do? I plug them into the system. And this is ultra important of plugging your people into the system. What do I mean by that? We have I want to talk about, and I'm going to come back to talk about building a $1 billion brand. Okay. So first wave, 20 people, second wave, 20 people, third wave, 20 people. I had sponsored in the previous company. I think I've sponsored, I don't know. I don't remember now. It's many years ago. I sponsored, I think 86 or 80 somewhat people. Okay. Of the 80 somewhat people I sponsored, guess how many people are working? Of the 86 people I sponsored, I think 20 people were working. When I say working, meaning they're active. I should say active instead of working. Okay. So they were on auto ship. They were on smart ship. They love the product. They'll stay on auto ship. The other 60 people, I don't know what happened, okay? So I could only lead them to the water. Whether they want to drink or not, it's not up to me. Well, of the 20 people that are active, guess how many people were working? I got 7 people that I sponsored out of the 80 somewhat people that were working. The 7 people that were working, we went out there and built a $10 billion company with millions of customers all over the world. This is so misunderstood. This industry, when you really get it right, it is no longer what people used to think this industry is, because technology, cross-border e-commerce completely radically interrupts a model. It disrupts a model. And so I wanted you to picture this. I mean, now to sponsor 80 people, I've talked to thousands to sponsor 80 somewhat people. From 80 somewhat people, 20 people active. From 20 people active, 7 people moving. Now, so the 7 people moving, this is the key thing. The 7 people moving, it is the people underneath them, the people underneath that. So how do you go about building a dynasty, building an organization that you still have time to enjoy? Okay. So in the beginning, we're all doing this ourselves, but understand this. There is a system in place for us to magnify the effort, to magnify your efforts. What do I mean by that? The 20 people that you sponsor yourself, okay, they see you, they're excited, they trust you. They say, okay, fine, I'm going to do this. How do we keep people in the business? It's like, how do you keep people inspired? How do you keep people that sponsoring someone, to me, is easy. Getting them to go to work is an art, because we all, every single day, we got distractions after distractions. This thing called life, if we are not focused, we're not honed in on what we want, we get distracted all day long. Every single day. And I could tell you, the last year, I put in at least 18 to 20 hours a day in this business. Sometimes yes, certainly I can live in, serene, beautiful, gorgeous environment. Why am I working like this? I don't know, it's calling. There's something I gotta do. In the times that we're living in, humanity wants hope. Humanity needs more so than ever. Health, vitality. Okay. So it doesn't matter what people say to you or about it. You got to focus. If the 20 people you sponsor, okay, they are not working yet, you know what? Go find 20. Go sponsor another 20. You know, there's magic in the 20. When you start sponsoring waves of 20, that one person that's going to explode your business, all your challenges, all your negativity will go away. When you find one super excited person, like an Amy Dunlap, like a Holly DeMont, when you find a person like that, you're like, huh, what rejection? I got Amy Dunlap out there, right? So I want to, I mean, look at all the people that, and I do want to, at this moment, I actually do want to do a shout out to all the people that serve on this global community. People that behind the scene doing all these incredible, you know, panelists, being a host, being a health expert, and also graphic artist, people that are putting for pro bono. They don't want to get paid. They want to serve. So I mean, I couldn't tell you as a human being what this does to me. Witnessing how all the people are coming together. And I tell you, yesterday at that wellness talk, when I hear these people's testimonial, when I heard Colleen, when I heard Jason, when I heard Sarah, I mean, their story, their testimonial touched my heart. And Dr. Darren, as a health expert, came on. I mean, can you do you see this, guys? Do you feel that? In the times we're living in right now, that's what it's all about. So focus on sponsoring 20 people. Now, how do we become a $1 billion brand? How do we build a $1 billion company? Well, when your organization gets so big, you want to have leverage. And that leverage is a global community we have. Every Monday, we have our global opportunity showcase. Plug your guests in there. Instead of you running around town, you doing all the meeting, plug them in there. Now, of course, there's a 5 M's, right? More meetings means more miracles. More meetings means more money. Yes, you want to do more meetings. But at the same time, the reason why you want to plug your people there is that sometimes when you're on vacation, when you're going somewhere, you cannot do all these meetings. At least there's a system there that's running to help your people. And you know what else does that for your business when your people plug in? Is that they get to meet people from all over the world. That's in this 3 world. They get to meet other people. They get to hear stories of who other people are. They're like, oh my gosh, this 3 world is much bigger than what Amy shared with me. This 3 business is much bigger than what Holly DeMont shared with me. This business is much bigger than what Samson shared with me. Because when they plug in, their horizon, their vision become a lot bigger. Because we have people from all walks of life, from different parts of the globe that are here to share, okay? So Monday, Global Monday Showcase, Tuesday, Empowerment. Different people go on there to pour their heart out, really speak their heart out to say, listen, you know, and share their wisdom, share their experience, share their journey. So that's Empowerment Tuesday. And on Wednesday, bless the heart of these healthcare professionals. You know, some of them run a very busy practice, but they come online and to share with people and all these amazing testimonials. Oh my gosh. And so these are the system. And also, you know, the company have 3 walls. They have all these stuff, a community where people can plug in with promotions and all this stuff. That is bigger than what you one-on-one doing. Okay. Now, obviously, for those of you that are fortunate enough to have people that run local meetings, like in Los Angeles, we have local meetings. Wherever you are, when you have a local meeting or your sponsor running an event, a home meeting, a home party, plug in. Sometimes at these events, it's like you're collecting, like I call it my little marble bag. As I go to meeting, you know, I hear these stories. I say, ooh, that's a good one. I put it in my marble bag. Why? Because when I'm out there sharing with other people, with their story, their situation, their circumstances, I'm like, wait a minute, I think I heard something like that. Let me give you this marble, okay? Let me share with you what that is. So when you don't have, there's a saying in our business, Why I need to go to events? Okay. When you have guests coming to an event, you need the events, right? But when you have no guests coming to the event, you yourself need the events, because the event will pump you up. It's like a plant, like a tree. When a tree is put in an environment where all the people are positive, they want to speak into each other, they want to speak into each other's lives. People are there to share, to nurture one another. You put people in that environment, that's when people blossom. It's like a plant. When you put sunshine, you put water, a healthy environment, that's when epigenetic happens, right? Okay, so magic in 20. So I hope that this message gets through to you. If your business is not where it should be, ask yourself, how many people have I sponsored? How many people have I talked to? Okay, if you have not sponsored 20, okay, or if you sponsor 20, none of them are working, go sponsor another 20 people. Because in that process, in that journey of sponsoring people, guess what happened? You are learning, you're growing, you learn what worked, what doesn't work. You know how better angle to talk to your prospect. You learn better approach on how to build this business. And so, and then last but not least, I would say continue to dance. Continue to dance with life. Continue to dance with your dream. Your dream is right here. You are right here. Just be willing and brave enough to have that dance. Life is a dance. Not every day is perfect. If you only know what my days is like, yes, I get to work in this beautiful, beautiful space right here in LA. But there are times I have tough days. There are times things get a little challenging. What do you do? When you know I know what I'm about. I know what I wanted to do. I want to make a positive impact to millions of lives with your help, with people that are on this call. So I hope that the information here lands in the right space. And I hope that you really spark up your dream. But more importantly, that spark up that courage to continue to talk to people. For you are not alone. You have all of us right here, that these calls, once we get this thing off the ground, perhaps I will have more time to do more calls. But today's training is really up close and personal. And I hope that you feel personal, because this is the first time in my career of 31 years I have done this, to show you my space. Like I said, I do very public work, but I live a very private life. And so with that, I thank you so much for plugging in. I hope that you found this talk helpful. I hope you get inspired of what's possible. I hope you get inspired of it, just get sparked up for just, whatever the circumstances is, whatever the situation is, when we give ourselves the opportunity to get into a space of possibility, a space of health. Don't let any statistics, any reports, don't let it get to you. If you give yourself the opportunity, just give yourself a chance to go into that space and to work from that space. With that, I'm going to sign off to today. And just want to send everyone great juju, great love, wherever you might be. And so together, we're going to build a $1 billion company and beyond, and transforming lives around the world. Thank you very much for plugging in. Have a great day.